What's up, e-bikers? So the Little Red Wagon Company is now making e-bikes. That's right, this is the Flyer M880 midtail cargo e-bike, and it was sent to me for review for the channel, so appreciate Flyer for letting me do that. And really great quality looking e-bike. I like where Flyer is going with their model lineup. They have two e-bikes. This is the midtail. It's kind of a unisex design, they call it. And they have a long tail as well, which comes out even farther here, and that fits two kids on it. So they sell a lot of kid bike seats on their website. I think it's a nice segment to go after as far as just the target audience goes, right? So I could just see a husband riding this and the mom riding the long tail, or vice versa, with the kids in tow, and in those kid bike seats back there, right? So I use this to do some grocery shopping. Let me read you what Flyer says about this e-bike. So the Flyer M880 is the e-bike for everybody, for all ages and experience levels. This adult men's and women's electric bike turns every outing into an adventure. Hauling groceries from the farmer's market, commuting to work, cruising to the beach for a picnic, enjoying a family outing and sitting, the Flyer M880 midtail e-bike is equipped to get your crew and cargo where you need to go, while infusing fun and functionality into micromobility. And I would agree. I've taken this to a grocery store. I did a beach run last week with it, threw my towel in the back there, and I got my grocery bag in the back, and used some bungee cords to take the groceries home. And I've been enjoying that functionality of it. So it's been a really great experience so far with the new Flyer. So let's go over the specs. We have a 500 rear hub motor back here, paired with a 48 volt, 15 amp hour battery here in the down tube. And they say it's UL tested. So UL is that electrical standard that most good electronics come with, and that's good to know about the battery itself. It's available in 4 colors. This is the blue. You can get it in red, white, blue, and black. Nice little red, white, and blue color combination. 7-speed Shimano shifter back here with a regular SIS thumb shifter up front. Integrated rear rack. They have baskets and kid seats you can put on this thing, so check out their website. If you don't want the basket, you can put a kid seat back there as well. 26 by 3 inch street tires with puncture resistance. And I'll give you a close-up of those in a second. I love street tires on these e-bikes. I wish more e-bikes came with street tires as an option anyway, because let's face it, most of us ride on asphalt. So I love these street tires. They're CSTs, and a really nice tread on there as well. Tektro mechanical disc brakes, LCD display with voltage readout. It's a small one, but it's nice. I'll give you a close-up later. Dual leg kickstand. So can't really see it yet. I'll give you a close-up in a second, but it keeps the bike upright with these dual leg kickstands. Interesting to use that for the first time. It's the first bike I've had that on. It's got it's a class 2 e-bike, top speed 20 miles an hour. I don't think you can unlock it. I didn't ask, but I don't think you need to with a bike like this. It's more of a daily driver functionality, and it's pretty efficient as well. I'll tell you about the range test I did shortly. Seat height is 27.5. That's the minimum, and the max 36. The bike weighs 67 pounds, so it's not too heavy. That compares pretty favorably with the electric XB, which I think is 63 or 64 pounds. So it's not too heavy. Comes in 3 frame sizes, small, medium, and large. This is the medium. I'm 6 foot tall. Probably if you're like 6'5", 6'4", you want to get the large. And let's see here. The rear rack can take 80 pounds of cargo, it says. So not bad. The overall payload of the bike is 300 pounds if you're a 300-pound rider. And I really like I just like what they're doing with this segment. I think targeting families Something I haven't seen before with most e-bike companies. They're usually touting long range or off-roading. And I think this is a nice niche, nice segment for Flyer to target. You can buy like those expensive turn cargo bikes, which I see a lot of sort of rich people buying, out in Brooklyn there. But this is a great alternative to that. If you don't want to spend a ton of money, those bikes cost 3, 4, 5 grand. For $17.99, that's a really nice price point for what you get. So kudos to Flyer for putting out something affordable as well. All right, let's go over likes and dislikes, and we'll hit that next. So likes, and I have a lot of them, and only a few dislikes really. So first of all, the quality and fit and finish of the e-bike is really nice. From the grips to the welds. There's even a nice front badge up here, which I'll show you. Just really nice quality. The two-tone paint job. Everything just feels like a higher quality e-bike overall. Again, the functionality I think is great. The fact that this is a unisex, they call it a unisex bike, to me is a home run. That's great. I mean, it's sort of masculine enough that a guy would want to ride it, I think, but also has that step-through ability, and you can step right through it for ease of use, right? So again, the 3 frame sizes, that really helps people to helps that size question, right? Sizing is a big problem with e-bikes. If you don't, if you've never seen it before in person, you can buy the wrong size. So the fact that they have 3 sizes, small, medium, and large, is awesome. That's really going to help people decide which one to get and keep afterwards. It's got a nice integrated bell, which I always love. Love those integrated bells on the brake levers. The street tires are awesome, and the front badge up here, which I'll show you. And then it's a very efficient bike. So when you combine a 500-watt motor with a 15 amp hour battery, that equals longer range, right? And so in my first test in real world conditions, I got 40 miles, and that's pretty good for a bike of 67 pounds. That's says it's a cargo e-bike. That's without anything in there. But I was pleasantly surprised by the range on this thing. I'm thinking about making this more of my daily driver because A, it's efficient, you can do a lot with it, and it's fun to ride too. I like, there's no suspension on it, if you noticed, but I haven't minded that so far, so I'm going to put a suspension seat post on there. But it's just a really nice looking bike as well in the blue. Dislikes. Well, I would say main dislike is the brakes. They're mechanical disc brakes. They are Tektros, which are nice. They kind of hiss when you stop, and I'll show you that on the ride footage later. They're a little soft for my taste. I think they could be a little bit tighter on there, but not a huge problem. They stop just fine, but they're kind of just okay in terms of the brakes. But you're not only going 20 miles an hour, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue for riders out there. The buttons on the display are pretty small. I have a hard time just when I'm writing, remembering which one is plus and minus going forward. And what else? And this is just more of a annoyance, but the dual leg kickstand is a little bit of a hassle to use sometimes. You have to basically put your foot on it and basically use your foot to push it back. It takes a little bit of effort there. And so if you don't have any leg strength, you're going to find that a challenge, I think. When you want to put the kickstand down, you basically push the kickstand down like that and then pick up the bike essentially to put it back in place. So a little bit of a clumsy way to do it, but I haven't figured out a better way to put it down because you have to use some force with your leg there. But other than that, it's a really great e-bike. Again, for $17.99, I mean, this is one of my top values now in the e-bike world. So good job, Flyer. All right, let's get you a walk around. Here's the bike from the front. Great cable management there. Here are your street tires, treads. I love these treads. I think I've seen this before on Rads, maybe. Here's your front integrated light. Here's the badge I was talking about. I wish more companies did this because I don't like front racks. So front baskets, I'm not going to put a basket on there. Put a badge there. It's great branding, number one, and it just looks better overall. I mean, this thing probably costs 20 cents to make. I would love to buy one of these too, like aftermarket too. Like if anybody has a 3D printer, like make something like this, and you could sell a lot of these, I think, on the e-bike world. Here's your shifter and your twist throttle up here. You can turn around. I did add a mirror to the bike underneath. That's a half knee underneath mirror. Works really well there. Here is your display. And here's your Tektro shifters with the bell. Love that. And your twist throttle. So let's turn the display on. Pretty bright display for being LCD. You can see here the battery levels. You've got your odometer, speed, PS levels. And then you got your trip, you got your voltage there. So always great to see that. And your overall mileage, so not a bad looking cockpit. Side view, here's the dual link kickstand. See it there. Double-sided chain ring. I always appreciate that. You got your typical Welgo pedals down here. Derailleur guard. It's a Shimano tourney in terms of the derailleur. There's your motor coming up. That rack is integrated into the bike, so you can't take it off. And the basket comes with this nice covering in the back. Even says Flyer back here. All right, it's got a little zip pocket for your keys. And my crisscross cards there. The saddle is a Cell Royal gel saddle. Pretty comfortable so far. This is a bit of has some springs in there, so you can feel it bounce a bit. But I'm going to put a suspension seat post on there. Here's your integrated rear lights. I'm not sure if it's a brake light or not. Let me just turn on the lighting. Oops. Pressing plus turns the lights on. So here is your front lights. Not the biggest light I've seen. Here's your rear lights. And yes, it is a brake light. So good to see that. These fenders are really high quality. They're I think they're metal. Yeah, they're metal. Well, they feel kind of plasticky, but yeah, they're a really good quality plastic. Is what they are. So I like that. I don't like metal fenders because they make too much noise, and plus they add weight to the bike too, right? So we have a quick release up front here. Again, these tires are nice. I like the black dot tires. Always have. The only tires I like maybe more would be like the ones with the reflective stripe, which adds a nice look to the bike. But here's your rigid front fork. Here's your battery compartment. Here's the frame. Really nice looking package back here. I added a big Lufu lock on the back rack here. It only screws in one side. The holes for the bolts weren't long enough, so I use a zip tie on this side of the lock. But it fits nicely right on the rack here, and that's my new lock. Took it off my Espen Nesta actually. So yeah, I hope you like this bike. I mean, I really like it. It's just sharp looking, high quality, and it's really pleasant to ride overall. So again, great for families and cargoing and going places. So can't wait to get out on the road for you. All right, let's go do some ride footage and we'll see how it does. All right, let's see how fast this thing is to 20 miles an hour. I got my handy stopwatch here. Gonna time that. And this thing has just an initial impression. It's got a nice little spark off the line. It's nothing too crazy, but I do like it. Seems a little bit better than the electric, which is a 500-watt motor as well. So here we go. Okay, we're at 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 20. So 14 seconds. That's slower than 750 watt, of course, but there you go. So this bike is pretty agile for being 26 inches. I like those 3-inch tires. It's a nice little skinnier footprint. I'm doing 20 right now. It's a big bike, but it doesn't feel big. It's a big bike, but it doesn't really feel that big, to be honest with you. Very comfortable. It's got the adjustable handlebar stem, or the adjustable stem here. I wish we went back a little bit farther, but at least they have that to help with sizing as well, and to reach over so you're not hunched over too much. Alright, here's the PAS test track. We're going to do test out these PAS levels, get you a sense of how they do. We're PS1. Alright, let's hit it. No, I'm in 0, sorry. So in 0, the nothing works. So, alright, on PS1, here we go. It's a pretty casual bike. We're doing 7.4. I can barely feel the motor at this point. Let's bump it up. Alright, PS2, we're doing about 10 miles an hour. 10.5. PS3, we are at, what, 13 and a half? Slight little down climb there. 14. So we'll call it 14. Okay. PS4, starting to get zippier here. We're at 16, 17, 17.6, 18. That's nice. There's PS5. We should hit 20 here. Motor just kicked off 20.1 miles an hour. So we're right on track for the Class 2 status. Pretty easy to ride with no hands. It's good balance. Oh, there's a deer. Boy, they disappear so fast, don't they? I don't know where he is. I can't even see him. He was just here 10 seconds ago. Oh, there he is. I see him. Hey, buddy. All right, we'll let him be on his way. Here's the brakes. So they kind of like hiss when they stop. They stop fine, but wish they were a little bit tighter. Maybe I'll throw some hydraulic calipers on there, those X-Tex. See if that improves things. I think the rotors are, I'm not sure what size the rotors are, 160 or 180. Here's a look at my pedaling cadence. Pedaling cadence. Sorry. Yeah, there's no ghosting on this, ghost pedaling on this bike. It's definitely tuned right. Alright, time for the hill test. I'm in gear 3 or 4. Let's pump it up to PS5. Not sure if you can see that or not, but here we go. Let's bump down a notch. Yeah, now we're in 3rd gear. Good climbing so far initially. Going 10 miles an hour up the hill. Gaining speed. Leveling off 10.3. It's kind of staying right there. 10.5, 10.6, 10.9, 11. 12 miles an hour up a hill. 12.4. 12.8. 13.6. 14 and a half. All right, getting close to the steep part here. 14.7 miles an hour. Here comes the steep part. You can kind of hear the motor, which is pretty quiet, by the way. It's a pretty quiet motor. We're at 12. We're at 11 miles an hour. 10.4, 10.1, 9.7, 9.4, 9.1, 8.8, 8.6. Looks like that's it. Yeah, 8.6 was the lowest, but it took that hill pretty well for a 501 motor. You know, that's basically what you can expect. 8.6 up a steep part of the hill, and did what I expected it to do. No surprises there. So, well, let's go do the downhill cruise on my downhill track up here, and we'll do a nice stop at the end, going like 30 miles an hour. So let's hit it. Grips are seem like they're extra thick. They're just a really nice form on your hands here. I mean, just look at the size of this thing. It's a pretty big grip. I mean, haven't seen grips this thick ever on an e-bike. So okay, we're just going to cruise down here and see how fast we can hit. I think my personal best is about 34, 35. We're at 25 right now. And 27, speeding up. I'm going to slow down a little bit here. 30 miles an hour, 31, 32, almost 31.8. Going to hit 32 here for sure. Let's see. 33, wow. Oh, 34. Let's try riding this bike with no power. I'm on 0 right now. And come up on a slight up incline here. Just coming off that hill, so speed is at 16 and decreasing. Now it's really slowing down. Gonna put it in like 4 and doing 11 miles an hour, 10.8, 10.5. So feels fine, you know, on flat ground. Obviously going up a hill, you're gonna feel that burn, but it's on flat ground. All these e-bikes essentially on flat ground are easy to ride, as long as they have as long as they have gears, unless it's a single speed sometimes. Stop at the lake here and wrap things up. This is a private lake, so I can't really go on it, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd be here every day in summer. So there's your Flyer M880 midtail cargo e-bike in blue. rigid front fork, 26 by 3-inch tires, 500-watt motor back there, front and rear lights, and it's a brake light back here on the fender, which is a nice fender, by the way. Get your nice Flyer rack back here, basket. I love that functionality. I'm glad it has a little pocket in there for your keys. Love that. Space for a lock, which I put there. Added a mirror. Gonna add suspension seat post and phone mount, of course, but that's about it. Really, doesn't need much at all. And if somebody wants to make these badges for these front bosses as a product, that's a great product idea right here. In fact, I've been thinking about this a lot. And Flyer's the first company I've ever seen to put a badge up there like that. Actually screwed it on, so excellent job, Flyer. You stole my idea. But that's the Flyer, so great package, $17.99 on the Flyer e-bike site. Again, perfect for a family of 2 or 3 or 4 even, with the long tail version. 3 kids in the back there, and you and your wife are gonna have a ton of fun on these things, rolling around the neighborhood. So anyway, probably taking on a group ride soon, but that's it for today. So appreciate you guys watching. Hit that like and subscribe button. Got some interesting new e-bikes coming up soon. We got the Honbike U4. We got the Kepler aerial rider Kepler coming. So it's going to be a busy October with new e-bike reviews and footage. So again, stay tuned, and thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.